Well, Monday's over and done with,
Yes,
and
sir.
we are back for the rest of the week. Focus, focus.
Yes, focus, yeah.
Good
And
morning.
of course, right this moment, you can look forward to the 3-hour engagement from Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes,
assuredly.
indeed. As always, we thank you for tuning in. We know we will make it worth your while. My name is Yomi Owope.
And I am Mary Bashua Alimi. We are streaming live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Of course, we're also on social media platforms, so you can send us comments, participations, like whatever it is that you need to say to us. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
And of course, our app, it's also available for download on both Android and iOS Play Stores. And with it, you can watch us anywhere in the world. Absolutely
Yes,
anywhere.
indeed. Yes, indeed. Now, let's go straight to this morning's highlights.
Right after that, hip-hop musician and self-taught painter Bode Black will be giving a music performance.
Levitate, gbéra, gbéra, gbéra. Ọmọ ọlọ́pẹ́ levitate.
We're going to be focusing on endometrial cancer with Dr. Kende Okandi, who's a consultant gynecologist and endometrial cancer. Now, this cancer is the cancer of the womb, and it happens to a number of women, and we'll know, of course, you give us more information about that today.
And from there, we move on to entertainment news, where we bring you all the updates from celebrities, both home and abroad. OAP and model Deborah Waters will be joining us for that.
Then it's DIY with Adeoluwa Baja, who is the founder of Joe Maverick's Shoes. Now, he will be showing us how to get our shoes shiny after applying polish.
Also to come is a chat with runway model and Miss Teen United Nations Nigeria pageant, Favor Okeke.
Now, we're going to be discussing parenting with media consultant and mom blogger Jane Ogoye. Now, she's going to be giving us tips on how not to raise an entitled kid. Oh, wow.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Kids feeling entitled.
And lastly, we will be joined by award-winning TV host and model, Idia Aisen.
Looking
Fully
forward to
packed
it.
show as usual. Fully packed.
Yeah, it's going to be a packed show today. Tuesday. We're gradually approaching the end of the year, and this is one of the fastest years ever. That's what many people are saying. Even online, last week, people that were saying, I think there was a hashtag that trended briefly saying fast year. And people were saying, oh, just yesterday it was December 31st.
Every year is always fast. That's what we
2018.
think.
Oh no, there's some years that are particularly slow for
No,
people.
it has to do with, one, your pocket situation that year. Two, if things you wished for actually came to pass. And three, if you're actually living in the year. You know, sometimes you're going through a lot. The year is actually just going by. You're not living through it. So when you're in any of those three, or you now have all of the three, that's a complicated
Now,
thing.
there's some years when things happen back to back, like where there are lots of things. Like for me, 2015, lots of things happened in quick succession. So I had many achievements. My father also died. And, so it was, so by December, it felt like it was 5 years in one, just because of the sheer number of things that happened.
Activities.
Yeah.
Well, such is life. We just have to make the most of every day.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
The thing.
Yes,
we can't
indeed.
have it all. Okay, so what's up with you?
I've got this program coming up in like 2 or 3
Women in
weeks.
Journalism?
Exactly. So I'm,
Okay.
planning, doing some work. I had a major meeting yesterday with the team members, giving out tasks. And one of the things I realized is that people want leadership, right? And they want you to show them, maybe give them some direction about what they should do, especially young people. And so one of the things that I know is most important for young people in Nigeria is mentoring. When people start getting involved in vices, different vices, we talk about 419 or Yahoo and things like that, it's because they never really had someone to look up to, like a father figure or a mother figure or something like that that could help them along the way.
Sometimes they actually do. That's the crazy thing. But then some people fall for peer pressure. Now, you might say, oh, if the parents did their best, but it doesn't always work that way. It doesn't always work that way. Sometimes the parents actually did their best raising the child right, but the child still fell for peer pressure. So there are actually so many factors that affect these things. And I always tell people, don't see someone as your role model. Learn the good things and stick to yourself and make the most of your own life.
Very true.
I find it worrisome when someone says, oh, you're a role model, you shouldn't do this. People are looking up to you. The role model is a human being with fails, with problems, with their own issues.
Yeah, so but the idea of role models is that they are like you. And so if they have issues like everybody else, it then means that at least if somebody has issues and they're still successful, it means that you, with your own issues and all of that, you can be successful as well, because now your role model has been humanized.
Some people don't look at it that way. They look at it as
that the role model must be perfect.
The role model must be a perfect person, like icon. The person must not even spit any form of, falsity and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's worrisome because it's too much pressure. And that's why you see someone hiding to do things when you should actually just live your life, so others can know that you're not perfect.
Yeah.
Because there's no such thing as perfection, really.
That's very true. Like, so whatever you're doing, if you have a role model, just always know that whatever success you're going to achieve in your life is going to be basically on you.
Yeah, that's it.
It's basically on you. So it's on you. At the end of the day, you're not going to blame anybody for your success or failure. It's you. So you cannot say my father made me fail,
yes,
or my pastor made me fail, or whatever it is, because something happened, and so you lost your way. I mean, so at the end of the day,
find your way back, or you listen to Beyonce's "Find Your Way Back."
All right,
okay.
We are going to be taking the news now, and we're starting with the president. And President Muhammadu Buhari has inaugurated an economic advisory council and dissolved the economic management team headed by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. The 8-man council will advise the president on economic policy issues and work with relevant cabinet members and heads of monetary and fiscal agencies. It will have monthly technical sessions as well as scheduled quarterly meetings with the president, though the chairman may request for unscheduled meetings if the need arises. The council is headed by Doyin Salami and Mohammed Sagagi, who will serve as chairman and vice chairman respectively. Other members are Ode Ojo, Shehu Yahaya, Iyabo Masha, Chukwuma Soludo, and Bismarck Rewani. The senior special assistant to the president on development policy, Mohammed Salisu, is the secretary of the council. Still in Abuja, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says Nigeria has management issues and the government is working to address these challenges. He was speaking at a conference by the Nigerian Institute of Management in Abuja. Senior correspondent Femi Akande tells us more.
Professor Yemi Osinbajo has come here to talk about how government is enhancing governance by improving the management of institutions. He told the Nigerian Institute of Management that President Muhammadu Buhari has set December this year as deadline for ministers to render their first performance report.
I was particularly alarmed when I looked behind the program.
The VP says among the priorities of the government is to tackle grant corruption and change the system that promotes grant corruption.
I would say that the central question, especially in the public sector today, is not the lack of talent or well-researched policies, but the weakness in getting things done or implementation. Doing things as opposed to talking about doing them. Implementation is possibly the central management challenge today, and it is, in my respectful view, at the heart of the challenges of managing our democracy.
The theme for this year's annual management conference is managing the challenges of democracy. The Institute has urged government to build a structure that guarantees citizens are the primary beneficiaries of the democratic system.
We believe that successful professional management of the democratic system will promote a unity of purpose between the governors and the governed, between the people and their representatives, foster national unity, accelerate development, and curb abuses of trust and privileges, thereby raising the well-being of the citizens.
Nigeria's 20-year democratic journey has witnessed varying challenges from insecurity to poverty and corruption. The federal government now acknowledges that all sectors of the Nigerian economy suffered from endemic management failure, but these challenges are already being tackled. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, the meeting between the federal government and Labour has ended again in deadlock. Now, this happened in Abuja yesterday when both parties ended the meeting without a concrete agreement. TVC News learned that the government decided to step up from 9.5% to 11% for grade levels 7 to 14 and 6.5% from 5.5% for levels 15 to 17. The chairman of the Labour team, Simon Akava, accused the federal government team of foot dragging and warned it could be an invitation for industrial action. President Buhari had in April 2019 signed the 30,000 naira minimum wage into law, but implementation has been stalled by these differences. Now, over in South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa has officially apologized to Nigeria. He tendered the apology on behalf of his country over the attacks on Nigerians and other foreigners of African descent in South Africa. A special envoy from South Africa met with President Muhammadu Buhari at the State House in Abuja and advocated stronger bilateral relationships between the two countries and, of course, the strong economies as well. The envoy also conveyed the government of South Africa's determination to protect the lives and property of foreign nationals legitimately working and doing business in South Africa. This apology is coming after a series of backlash and condemnation that followed the xenophobic attacks in the Rainbow Country. The South African president also apologized to Zimbabwe when he attended the funeral of Robert Mugabe over the weekend.
To convey our President Ramaphosa's sincerest apologies about the incidents that have recently transpired in South Africa. Those incidents do not represent what we stand for as a constitutional democracy in South Africa, and the President has apologized for these incidents. And he has also instructed law enforcement agencies to leave no stone unturned, that all those involved must be brought to book so that the rule of law must prevail in South Africa.
Another pastor in Kaduna State has been attacked and kidnapped. Pastor Haggai Kwaso was adopted along with his daughter Margaret and the church treasurer. The pastor worships with the Shinyonya Baptist Church in Kankomi, part of Chikun local government. The Christian Association of Nigeria in the state is worried at the spate of attacks on clergymen. This development comes 2 days after the wife of an Ekwa pastor was kidnapped in Birningwari local government area of the state. The police have assured that the attacks will be investigated. Well, that's the news update for this hour. Let's take a break now. We'll bring you the weather forecast right after this. So we're looking at
that particular basketball match. Okay.
So we're looking at the newspaper headlines, starting with the Nigerian Tribune.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. This says xenophobic attacks. South Africa apologizes Obasanjo to affected nations. Reports South Africa to AU if. Well, you have to read the rest of that story on page 3 and on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune. States to take care of returnees. That's coming from the federal government. Ramaphosa sends troops to gang-infested communities. Moving on, a tribunal upholds Makinde's election in over 6-hour judgment. Truth has prevailed, he says. Here we see Buhari dissolves Oshibajo-led economic management team. Names Salami, Rewane, Soludo, 5 others in new council. Economic Advisory Council to report directly to President. profiles of new members. Yeah, you see the profiles in the newspaper. And finally, 10,000 Nigerian girls forced into prostitution in Burkina Faso. That's a big one there. All of these stories and more in the Nigerian Tribune newspaper today.
Yeah, let's look at the Punch this Tuesday morning. Doctors' exodus now more alarming, says the NMA. And 60 doctors dump Lagos hospitals every 6 months, says the association. And 700 doctors leave Nigeria annually, says first vice president. All my mates have left Nigeria, United States-based doctor says. And up here, Salami Soludo panel replaces Oshibajo economic team. And Chad, Niger herdsmen to benefit from federal government's livestock scheme. And there's an alarm about flooding for rivers Niger, Benue rise, which is heightening flood alarm. And direct remittances to Nigeria rises 137% to $11.6 billion. And down here, South Africa apologizes for xenophobic attacks. Envoy meets Buhari. That story is on page 42. And the tribunal upholds Makinde's election. And of course, APC is reacting there on page 12. And singer Dami Crane arraigned for threats to life. Finally, 5 UTME candidates face prosecution for falsifying scores. That's on page 43. That's what we have on the cover of The Punch.
The Guardian newspaper now. This says South Africa begs as exit of Nigerians hurts economy. We'll discuss compensation on October 3, says Ramaphosa. Obasanjo wants xenophobic attacks reported to AU. 319 more Nigerians to return to Lagos today. Moving on, Labour federal government meeting on minimum wage implementation deadlocked again. Minister blames stagnant growth on unimplemented NESG reports. Telecoms operators rectify 6.7 million of 9.2 million irregular mobile lines. Igbo take alleged marginalization by federal government to United Nations. EU moves to give goods from Nigeria. Others visibility. That's good news. Buhari appoints Soludo others as advisors. This bans Oshibajo's team. And of course, this photo shows the South African special envoy to the presidential villa in Abuja alongside government officials right here. So all of these stories and more in the Guardian newspaper today.
All right, let's take a look at the Daily Sun. Attack, evacuation of Nigerians. South Africa begs Nigeria. Ramaphosa's special envoy in Abuja apologizes to Buhari. And Obasanjo urges federal government others to report South Africa to the AU. And of course, that warning that we spoke about earlier, severe flooding looms, federal government warns. Kalu's home, others flooded. Agency accuses governors of ignoring danger alert. A great ministry blows 9 billion naira on dilapidated headquarters. Wow. And then Buhari appoints Salami, Soludo, Rewane, others into Economic Council. Attack on Saudi Arabia, Nigeria to rake in 1.3 trillion naira in 3 months as oil prices hit $71 a barrel. Budget founder Onigbinde resigns government appointment. He was just appointed last week.
Yeah.
So, wow. Anyway, that's what we have on the cover of the Daily Sun.
Guess the pressure got to him. Moving on to the Nation newspaper now, and it says RMAFC asks governors for new revenue sharing plan. States insist on 42%, agency to expand source of income. Buhari accepts South Africa's apology for xenophobic attacks. Ramaphosa begs compensation likely. Obasanjo seek AU action. Cuba to produce anti-diabetic, anti-diabetic drugs in Nigeria. That's fantastic news. Police, IPOB using blackmail. Up here, we see My Wish for Nigeria by Bill Gates. SDGs reports inside the Nation newspaper today. Wadume, military police tango over trial. Reports creates row. Workers force strike over minimum wage. Negotiation deadlocked. And finally, we have inside the newspaper talking about the tribunal, or your APC governorship candidate's petition lacks merit. Now, all of the stories and more in the Nation newspaper today.
This day is next. Xenophobia. Nigeria, South Africa mend fences as Ramaphosa apologizes. I like that things are cooling off now gradually. And Buhari promises more robust ties. Obasanjo lists ways to end crisis. Up here, 2020 budget, federal government retains $55 benchmark despite oil price spike. Buhari deplores attacks on Saudi oil refinery, pledges solidarity. Banks intensify drive to meet 60% loan-to-deposit target. And Buhari replaces economic management team with advisory council. Names Salami, Soludo, Rwani, others as members to report directly to president. And finally, despite recent kidnapping, Abuja is safe, says the IG of police there. That's what we have on the cover of this day.
And finally, the Vanguard newspaper, Ramaphosa apologizes. Special envoy says more than 50 arrested over attacks. Federal government urges governors to integrate returnees. Another batch of 320 arriving today. Obasanjo writes, excuse me, Obasanjo writes, Buthelezi asks Nigeria, others to report South Africa to AU. South African official accuses Nigeria of overreacting to attacks. Issue of compensation for discussion, October 3, when Buhari Ramaphosa meet. Up here, we see Soludo, Rwani, Doyin Salami make a new Economic Advisory Council. And here's something from Alfred Kisinga talking about Mugabe. I don't get enough credits for my work. That's coming from Adekunle Gold. Yes, he actually wrote a missive to his fans a couple of days ago. Infractions, SEC asked investors to utilize whistleblowing policy. All prices looking up as Yemen threatens another attack on Saudi Arabia. Apakpa gridlock. Sanwo-Olu reps seek approval for Badagry Lekki seaports. That will be fantastic. I wish I could go on, but unfortunately we can't. Those are the stories you find in the Vanguard newspaper today.
We're going to take a break now and be back shortly. Stay with us.
All right, let's see how much we can help you get around traffic in Lagos State. This is Traffic Segment. You can send in tweets to us at TVC Connect with the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Okay, so let's start with Ikeja area. Let me take a bird's eye view of the map I am looking at this particular point in time. And wow, it's Tuesday, so Ikeja area is really so. This is an overview, right? Going around Ikeja now, most of the roads are really quite very, very tight. Okay, let's see, where do we start with now? Okay, so heading from, this is a Nine Post area, as though you're coming from Ikeja Plaza roundabout. Very, very tight. Ikeja Plaza roundabout, heading towards Ikeja Post Office, Nine Post. It's deep red, like it's very tight now. There's almost no movement. That's as though you want to head down towards Oshodi. Yeah, you know that bypass where you come down towards Oshodi. That particular area is very, very tight. But you get past that area, Ikeja along, now heading towards Oshodi, from Ikeja along, one side of the express at this morning, you know that's how traffic is. So that place, heading towards Oshodi, is almost blocked. But then it's quite moving, very, very slow pace. The other lane that's heading towards Egbeda area from Oshodi, very free. And that's always the way. I love moving against traffic, so sometimes I try to plan myself. Now, Traffic in Lagos can be quite can be a big problem. So as much as possible, try to update yourself when it comes to maps and all of that. Get to learn what you can do. And if your work will permit you, do your best to go against. I mean, it's always very interesting going against traffic. Like, I remember a few times when I'm heading from the island to the mainland by this time, and I look at the people going that way and I'm like, ah, man, you don't know what's up there. But hey. Do the best you can to help yourself, right? With foreknowledge, and that's what we do with Traffic Report. With foreknowledge, prior knowledge, you can actually save yourself quite a lot of stress when it comes to traffic, okay? So still on, while my guys gets tweets ready, let's look at Computer Village area. Now heading towards, from Allen, heading towards Computer Village, the traffic is okay, but once you get to RCCG, that's talking about the Redeemed Christian Church of God, at that point it picks up and it looks like there's a standstill there for a while. That when you get just before Afariogun Street, and then up onto Pep Stores, and then just before EcoBank, you know that EcoBank by the roundabout there. So once you get to the roundabout, it frees up a bit, moving out the other way, and then heading towards the street that leads to the railway. It's extremely free. Just after the roundabout, heading towards the railway. Coming back from the railway, it gets tight again, up until the roundabout, gets free at the roundabout, and then you can make your way towards General Hospital on the bridge. Both sides are quite free. Okay, not both sides. One way is quite free. The other way, from General Hospital up until you get to Kodisho Street, quite free. By the time you get to Kodisho Street, there's a little bit of traffic there, and then you can move up, all right? So let me, guys, do you have any tweets there?
Yeah, just looking at a few updates from @TrafficButter.
Okay.
Somebody here says a pure water truck has broken down and totally blocked a part of the road that at Asolo Bridge towards Owode, forcing vehicles to take the BRT lane. It's totally blocked the road. That's a pure water truck. And motorists are advised to approach the bridge using the right lane and be cautious. Wow. So that was 1 minute ago. And then we still have a few.
You know, I actually wonder if it's the same traffic butter we're looking at.
Yeah.
Because I honestly didn't see that.
That's 1 minute ago. So
Yeah,
you need to refresh.
I just refreshed. Weird.
Then also there's another one here.
Okay.
Traffic reports, Ikeja inside under the bridge to Maryland is free, but this was like 20 minutes ago, so things might have changed a little bit there.
I saw that one.
That's what I have here with me.
Okay, as it is, there's almost nothing else on social media because most people probably are too busy trying to maneuver their way through traffic to tweet. So what? It's all right. I'm sure Mike has more routes for us this morning.
All those guys now, I know some of those people that are using the BRT lane now because of pure towers, they are smiling now. Like, you said when they were forced, but them are very happy using the BRT lane. But if there's no issue, just be careful, of course, with the BRT lanes. I know a number of people want to form hard men and use those lanes. The BRT lanes, you see, that's a kind of a lane, or when you look at a metro system for a city, those kind of dedicated lanes for public transport, they are things that make the metro system of a city work. So yeah, it's quite good. All right, so that we learn to leave our cars at home, get to use public transport more often. I'm telling you, big cities around the world, the public transportation system is always on point. That is definitely one of the reasons why they are big cities around the world. All right? Okay, so let's take a look at what's up and about while I head over to join the guys.
Thanks, thanks so much, Mike.
So what's up?
Well, I wanted to ask what you guys thought about Seun Onigbene's resignation, which happened yesterday. So people usually say, don't complain if you are not able to do something about a particular situation.
Yeah.
So everybody knows Seun Onigben to be an outspoken, well, not just government critic, but someone who analyzes and
societal issues.
Yeah, and also does a number of data interpretation of Nigeria's economy and all of that. So there are certain people who welcomed his appointment by the government that, oh, okay, this is a good thing.
Now that he's in government, he can at
this
least
is a good
help
thing.
make things right.
Some of the things you've been observing now is your chance, and he's a young guy. So that also, made people, certain sections of society happy. But it looks like the backlash, those who were unhappy about it were more than those who were happy.
Sheun, right?
Yeah.
Sheun.
Now,
So
the
eventually,
thing
I
is-
mean, within 5 days, he just resigned an appointment. So should he have done that?
Now, the
Should
thing
he have
is-
listened to the public? I mean,
I don't want to make any assumptions yet until he has actually, excuse me, he has actually made a statement regarding this.
yeah.
Because it's not good for him to have, in quotes, chickened out if that's the case. One, two, if he bowed to pressure, it's still not good because this is something you could have used to actually know what's going on in government and know the areas you can actually even handle it better. For goodness sake, he even deleted his social media for this appointment so that people, to avoid backlash.
Yeah.
Yes, it was on the news. Yes, perhaps people close to
said he
him were
ran out of
telling him
data.
that, who ran out of data?
He said he ran out of
When
data.
you run
That
out
was
of
his
data,
explanation.
does your social media account stop working? I ran out of data yesterday. My social media was still...
It depends on the kind of data.
Depends on the kind of data.
There's some data that affect your Twitter.
There's universal data.
Yes.
You guys, don't make
Just
me
go
choke,
off.
I beg.
Just go off some kind of data. You see, our political landscape,
Yeah.
we've not got to the point where we embrace opposition. You know,
Yeah.
we've not got to that point yet where we embrace opposition. I mean, there's some other more developed countries. You get to the point, it still happens a lot. There's quite, opposition is very, very, they oppose as they should. And someone said, look, what's the point of the opposition if they don't they say, look, we should put the government on their toes. That's the concept of opposition, which is cool, right? So if you do have a chance, I think it's more, we are at the point now where, look, man, we need all the help we can get. I put together a reference. It was on my WhatsApp stories yesterday. I put together a reference of comedy or movies that have shamed Nigeria with, the recent fraud and everything that we do. And it was easy to get like 3 or 4 major this thing that, when they mention it. So I feel like we're at the point whereby we need all the help that we can get. It's not going to be easy, but we should embrace opposition into whatever we're doing.
That's why I felt that the fact that he's a young guy, active on social media, you understand that this is a good thing. Okay, so this young guy has gotten engaged by the government, and he has a different view, a more scientific view, if you like, of how a government should be run. So this kind of a thing, when he's now appointed, it should be something that people should look
Some
forward to.
people believe that when a government appoints such vocal people, it more or less swallows them up, so much so that they get lost in the new status that they misuse it in some instances. And that's one of the things that people were using to actually attack Sheun over the weekend and all. However, it takes one person to take a stand. He and several people have criticized such acts. Why not prove that you can hold your own? And that's why I'm waiting for his statement, an official statement from him as to why he did it. Because when we get an official statement, we'll know his stand, and it will be easier to analyze his decision as to whether or not it was wise, or whether or not he chickened out, as some people are saying, or whether or not he wasn't supposed to do it.
I think so. Anyway, so that's that with Sheun. I just wanted to get you guys take on it, because look, the truth is, if they say you are the leaders of the future, how do we get in there if we are dodging? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because it just feels like I don't want them to taint me, or that kind of thing. If they call you now, Mary, and say, okay, you know what? On that your radio show, you've been talking too much. Oya, come and...
You've been talking too much.
You've been talking too much. Oya,
Don't
come
say you want to shade me.
Wait now. Oya, come and do something about maybe a particular situation by being appointed. You should step up. I know it's tough.
It's tough, especially when you know what it means, because people will now begin to associate you with the government. I've had so many people go into appointments with a clean heart, so to speak.
Now turns out that...
No, it's not that. Life is very funny. You will get roped into something you don't even know about.
You just get
complicated.
tainted.
Yes.
You just get painted with the colors of it. Anyway.
And so you find yourself being a part of the crowd.
So yesterday, South Africa finally apologizes. I don't know why it took them
So
2
long,
weeks.
right?
A simple apology. Sorry for killing, for that our people are killing your people. We also want to point to the fact that a lot of the people that are being killed are criminals. But sorry first. Before you start saying, no, it's criminals that they're killing. Like, you know, their defense was almost funny.
I stand
at
to
the
be
initial
corrected.
stage, yeah.
However, to my own belief, this is what I believe. The apology came because of the booing at Mugabe's burial.
Because
Realizing that South Africa was not being held in high regard anymore because of the killings.
Yeah.
If that hadn't happened, this apology would not have taken place. Now, the mass exodus of Nigerians is also a problem for them because they felt, it's just Nigerians that are affected in that place. We're talking about lives here. And now we have over 500 Nigerians returning to the country. So that was worrisome for them.
There are about 300, another 320
coming today,
Yeah.
according to the newspaper. Some say 19, some say 20, but about that amount. And so I, as an individual, as a Nigerian, I refuse to accept that apology because lives have been lost.
We have to now.
No, I refuse to accept it.
For the purpose, I mean, it's a...
As a government, yes, the government is supposed to accept it, but I'm just saying as an individual.
The relationship is...
It's a little too late.
I think, yeah, somebody was looking at the ramifications of cutting ties with South Africa. And at this point, we'll lose more.
We probably will.
We'll lose more. And so we broke it down and everything. At this point, we'll lose more. You see, I feel like what they can do is having a proactive approach. If they are criminals, get them, catch them legally, get them, arrest them, prosecute them, and Oga will let them.
Yeah, because these are the two biggest economies in Africa. So you can't just say, you know what.
The problem was intensified by that former police officer's interview. The
Which
cameo.
was an old video.
It's an old video, yes. That was what made many people realize that this thing is actually deep.
These people don't actually like us.
They don't actually like us. Well, I just think of Michael Jackson's song. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. We'll take this break out of course.
Black is in the house, and he's giving us a first performance of the day. How you doing, man?
I'm chill.
You look like you're about to take down something or like the whole camel thing. I'm feeling it.
It's TVC and it's early in the morning. We need to get people worked up.
Nice, Body Black. How long have you been doing music, by the way?
It's 2 years.
2 years professionally.
Yeah, professionally.
Okay, but when did it start for you?
I've been a music person all my life.
You're born with it, eh? Yeah, the way we all say.
Not really. Like mostly due to exposure.
Okay.
So listen to a lot of music. Then it was just a matter of time before I started writing.
Is it something that your parents or those around you supported you?
Yeah, at first they didn't know I was going to take it serious. So I've always been a creative person. I draw, I paint, and I do music.
Cool. That's cool.
It was
I
all
like that.
like I just know I'm going to be a waist in suit and tie.
Wow.
So
Okay, so don't expect to see Body Black in suit and tie. All right, so what are you performing for us this morning?
I'm giving us a motivational song,
Very
Levitate,
nice.
A song that paints the picture of what is going on in Nigeria right now.
I like that. I like that. I really
want
want
everybody to wake up this morning, levitate towards greatness.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, let's feel it now. Take it away.
The boy with the top class, Sadiq. 9 the dog pass. He dey wear tear clothes to come class. Say the boy is a failure, he cannot pass. Baba got the way, different from my way. Make man be God, my guy in Conde. Your future brighter than your today. Head for the sky, my guy.
Glad to know you're still there. We are still here, and we remain committed to bringing you an excellent morning.
Now, time flies, especially when you're having fun.
Yeah.
And a whole hour has gone by already. I like that smooth flow, that performance from Body Black, really good. really cool stuff.
So Yomi is talking about time flying and you're having fun, especially when you're having fun. Like, who has fun that way? Gotcha. If you missed it, you should make more efforts not to do so tomorrow, okay? But right now, you have so much more to look forward to, a whole lot more.
Yeah, we do intend to keep you for the next 1 hour, 45 minutes. My name is Yomi Uwokwe.
And I am Mary Bashua Alimi. If you have to leave the house now, then stream us live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Now, of course, you can participate by sending comments on our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Of course, use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yes. We also have an app. It's available for download at both Android and iOS stores. Now, this app allows you to watch us from absolutely anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Now, the kitchen is going to be coming alive with different activities very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. So check us out.
Chef Johnson
Chef
right
Johnson
there.
is in the building. And,
how you doing today?
He's already getting ready for some serious action in there.
Yeah.
So
I can see a lot of stuff on the table. The spread looks interesting.
So we're starting with a bit of health this morning and looking forward to seeing the consultant gynecologist.
Yes, Dr. Kehinde Okwade. He will be discussing cancer of the womb, a very serious subject. And then it's on to DIY, where the founder of Joe Maverick's Shoes will be showing us how to get our leather shoes shining after applying polish.
Also to join us is fashion model and reigning Miss Teen United Nations pageant, Favor Okeke.
Yes, sir. Now, parenting this morning will be focusing on how to not raise an entitled kid. And media consultant and mom blogger Jane Ogoye will be taking that.
And finally, we're going to be joined by award-winning TV host and model Idia Ison. Joining us on the show today.
Yeah. So there's a whole lot going on.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
I should be telling you what's happening today in history, but
you should be.
I should be, but perhaps in the third hour. Yeah.
So focusing on the final quarter, which is going to be just about 14 weeks left for this year.
2020 don't go.
2020 is here. Has arrived.
2019, 2020 is here and all of that. Well, there's still so much that can be done this year. Still so much. I mean, you have October, you have November, you have December, a whole quarter left. So, hey.
Well, there's one thing I realized I think in the last 2 years. So when you have so a lot of times, most companies, when you approach a company for maybe sponsorship or you want them to support a project that you're doing, most of them have this standard story of, we finished our budget, we don't sponsor events at the end of the year. You know what I've realized? There's money, right? They just want to put the money in the best projects for the end of the year. So if you approach anyone or any of these companies, they'll just tell you, come back next year, we don't have a budget, it's the end of the year. So, but if you have a project that is strong enough, they will support it.
Yes. Yes.
So I always tell people, look, there are no rules, just go in there, have something that is solid, give a solid proposal, and you will get sponsorship for it.
And talking about proposals and the end of the year, just 2 weeks away from October 1, that's Independence Day. And with everything that has happened this year in Nigeria, you just ask yourself, it's a wonder that we are still surviving. And it's
like, who is still surviving, the country or people? That
the people are still surviving. People are smiling. And I'm glad that more people are actually trying to make money. There was a time when a lot of people were dependent on one politician uncle of theirs. And now you see young people actually having 1 or 2 hustles by the side. Even the so-called fraudsters are beginning to know that they ought to invest in something, which makes it easier for EFCC to get their money back, but that's fine. But, you know, more people are aware of the need to work. Instead of being dependent or waiting for hand-downs and all. So it's actually been a very interesting year. As at last year, a lot of people did more of complaining. And I realized that this year, when you
Many
talk
people
to
are
many
starting
of those
something.
people, they are actually telling you about their dreams, what they've started. They look excited, and it's inspiring.
I think you know, look, at the end of the day, the internet, social media, they offer different opportunities.
Yes.
And if you're a young person, just find something to do, and before you know it, you just begin to gain traction. You just begin to gain
That's true.
popularity or whatever
That's
it is,
true.
and before you know, you can do what
Do
you.
people
what
even
you,
wonder if children of the rich work? They do. That's how they keep
Well, it depends
the family wealth. Well, it depends on the child.
Well,
But
not the child, on how wealthy the father is.
it doesn't matter. You still have to maintain your family wealth, or else you squander it, or somebody will come and defraud you. That's the way it works.
Well, if you're the child of a billionaire, and you decide that, okay, you want to sample several, you know, there's children of billionaires, they first maybe sample music,
Like Davido.
then sample something else. Well, Davido is a successful musician.
That's what I'm saying. At
By
least
every
it's working.
standard, yeah.
See? That's what I mean.
By every standard,
You
I
have to
think,
work. You have to work. All right, it's time for us to shake it up, yeah, and move into cooking. So it's time for us to learn a new recipe. And today we have Chef Johnson, and he's going to be teaching us something really exciting. So what are we having for breakfast?
Okay, this morning we'll be making cheesy chicken fritters.
Cheesy chicken fritters.
Fritters
This
with-
is a lot of cheese.
yeah.
Oh, there's something else.
Yeah, with lemon oilo.
Lemon,
Sorry, ailoy.
lemon ailo.
Ailoy, as in A-I-O-L-I. Some people pronounce it highly,
Okay.
like highly deep, highly sauce. It
Okay.
depends on how you want to pronounce it.
Okay.
Okay,
So I
it's-
just want to eat it. So let's get started. Let's talk about the ingredients.
All right, we'll be making use of mozzarella cheese.
Okay.
Okay, we have salt, and then we have black peppercorn. This is oregano, because we want to build flavor in our.
There's a lot of flavor being built today.
Okay, and we have egg. This is lemon, although we're going to be making use of the zest.
Okay.
All right,
okay.
because we already have lemon juice itself. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So we'll be
So we
making use of
just
both.
script of the
Yeah,
zest,
exactly.
okay.
And this is chicken.
This is a lot of garlic.
Yeah, this, like I said earlier, we're not going to use all. We're not going to use all.
Are you sure?
I'm so
But this
sure.
is still a lot, even if we're not using all. My gosh.
We're not going to use all.
Okay, so what's
Okay,
that?
this mayonnaise.
Okay.
And this is all-purpose flour.
Okay.
Okay. This parsley.
For garnishing, or it's going into
No,
the
this
meal?
is going into the meal as well.
Wow.
All right. And this is lemon juice, like I said earlier. This is olive oil.
Okay.
Okay.
So what do we need to do?
So the first thing we need to do is to mix a couple of things here together.
Okay, let's start. Let's start with
Okay.
that. First thing we are mixing.
We're gonna
You
get
will
your
not
bowl.
let our shrimps cook in peace. You still want to mix something into it.
It will cook. It
Okay,
will cook.
let's see.
Okay. All right. So your chicken,
Okay.
but you have to ensure that the chicken is well chopped.
You cut it like shrimps. I actually thought they were
Yeah,
shrimps.
no, that's chicken.
Chicken,
You have to
wow.
ensure that it's well chopped because it will
has
allow
to cook properly.
yeah to cook properly
Okay.
to cook through and all.
Okay.
So you have your chicken here, cheese. Remember the name of the dish is cheesy cheese and chocolate. So you need more of cheese. Okay. In fact, the whole of the cheese. Yeah. The whole of the cheese. Okay.
What else?
You have your salt.
Cheese, salt.
All right. You have your oregano.
Okay.
Like I said, you need flavor.
Okay.
Your black pepper, which you shouldn't, elude.
Overlook,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right. Your garlic.
So we're making something really exquisite this morning.
Your garlic.
That's all the garlic.
So we're gonna use the
suspecting you.
remaining one for the dip.
Ah,
All right.
okay.
Your garlic.
If you don't like garlic, forget this meal. That's basically what Chef Johnson is telling us.
And then your egg. Okay.
One egg is enough.
Yeah, one is enough.
How many people will this serve?
Oh, like it's a finger food.
Oh,
All right.
so it's
So it could just go
Okay.
for. I could actually make about 5 to 6 pieces out. So it depends on how you want to. All right. But this can actually go for about 4 to 3 people. It depends on how you want to. Okay. Now we're having our egg inside. Just one egg is enough.
Okay.
And then your mayonnaise.
Going inside as well.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like stir continue. Everything goes into the bowl.
Your mayonnaise. Okay, we're not going to be making use of your mayonnaise for now because you'll be using this for the dip as well. Okay. All right.
So just a little bit of that. Oh, the flour goes in as well?
Yeah, the flour goes in as well, but you'll have to make sure that you mix it first.
Okay.
It has to be properly mixed.
Ah, you know when we were children, you know what we used to call this?
What do you call it?
Let me not say it. I'll say it to you later.
What do you call it?
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
But it does look like sandwich. You know when you're trying to make the fish with butter and all, and you just mix it up. Okay. So I guess we'll do well with that.
Yeah.
All right.
So while it's properly mixed,
okay,
then you add in your flour. Okay, just very little amount of flour.
Are we still using the flour for anything?
No.
Just for
No.
dipping, nothing at all?
No.
Okay. So we stir it in and that's it for now?
You stir it, but before stirring it, your parsley. Okay. Because you also need, a lot of flavor.
So we are putting the parsley in?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we are cutting it up?
You're going to cut it.
Okay. So I'm going to let you cut it up. We'll do the mixing. We'll probably do a bit of frying. But don't worry, you'll see how far we've gone when next we come to the kitchen. Right now, however, we have to take a break. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us as Wake Up Night.
Welcome back. Now, cancer is a killer disease that can only be conquered through early detection. And some people say a lot of luck, but maybe prayers there would also be required. Now, Dr. Kehinde Okwande is a consultant gynecologist who has joined us from the Lagos University Teaching Hospital this morning to talk about endometrial, otherwise known as cancer of the womb. Maybe I just need to confirm whether I got it correctly. What's the correct pronunciation?
It's the endometrial cancer.
Endometrial cancer, cancer of the womb. I've never heard of endometrial cancer before today, or before yesterday when we started researching it. So let us go to the basics. What is endometrial cancer?
Okay, just like you rightly said, endometrial cancer is the cancer of the womb. Of course, it only affects women. It's one of the common gynecological cancers, and we have 5 major gynecological cancers, which includes endometrial cancer, which is cancer of the womb, cancer of the ovary, cancer of the cervix, which is the neck of the womb. We also have cancer of the vagina, and we have cancer of the vulva, which is part of the woman's private part that you see outside.
Yeah, so now the cancer of the womb, is this a rare cancer or a common cancer? Because it's not one of the major ones that people talk about that we know of, some of which you have just mentioned.
Okay, yeah. Generally, when you are looking at all cancers, it seems to be a rare cancer, but it's the commonest gynecological cancer in developed countries of the world. But in this part of the world, it is second to cervical cancer, which is the commonest. The reason for that is because when you look at developed countries, they have an organized screening strategies to take care of cervical cancer over there, which is still not available in this part of the world. So it's still ranked second to cervical cancer in this part of the world, but it's still relatively common compared to some other type of cancer.
Yeah. Now, in Nigeria, cancer has always continually been a taboo subject, or a subject that people don't want to approach, or people don't want to really hear about it because they feel that there will be a stain on them one way or the other. Why is it important because I mean, throughout this month we have been talking specifically, providing some information about different kinds of cancers. Why is it important that we talk about something to do with cancer of the womb, in such a time?
Yeah, more importantly, the reason why we are talking about this month, which is very important, is because this is the Gynecological Cancer Awareness Month,
yes.
The month of September. And like I said, it's ranked second to cervical cancer in this part of the world. And a lot of people, when they hear cancer, feel it's a death sentence. But it's not really true when it comes to us as gynae oncologists. Because once we detect cancer very early, it's quite curable. And the most important thing is for people to detect it early. And we advise people about the early symptoms so that when they see such symptoms, like bleeding and vaginal discharge that is mixed with blood, they should report such early. So it's not the premonition that is actually a death sentence. We are actually trying to do away with that, and a lot of people are already, getting more aware about the danger of the cancer and the need to report their symptoms quite early.
Okay, now let's talk about prevention with a focus specifically on cancer of the womb.
Yeah.
What are the things that people should look out for? So an average individual, we know that with whether it's breast cancer or cervical cancer and all of that, there are specific tests that can be taken. Yeah. But for cancer of the womb, are there things that women should look out for specifically?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, let me state this clearly. Cancer of the womb does not have a cause.
There's no cause?
There's no cause. But there are factors that can make there are risk factors that can make somebody more predisposed to developing the cancer. However, it's also instructive to know that the cancer we don't have any screening. Not that you cannot screen cancer of the womb. You cannot screen for it. But the problem is the screening strategy is not cost effective. But to screen it is quite expensive. Well, relative to the benefit of screening, it's really not very cost effective. But the good thing about it is that it has symptoms that present early, which is bleeding. In women that have attained the age of menopause, what they experience is postmenopausal bleeding. For instance, a woman that has stopped menstruating for close to about 2-3 years and now suddenly starts seeing blood again. That is worrisome. Such a woman should present to a gynecologist or will request for some tests like pelvic scan, preferably a transvaginal scan. And we'll look at some measurements in the transvaginal scan that will determine whether she's going to need additional tests, which will confirm that she has endometrial cancer or not.
So that's so the first thing is looking out for symptoms like bleeding.
Bleeding,
that's not
yes. So that is the commonest thing. And sometimes in those that have not attained the age of menopause, not that it cannot occur in those that have not attained the age of menopause, but the symptom we look for is intermenstrual bleeding. When somebody bleeds in between one period and another, she's supposed to see her period in another 30 days, and 15 days after her last period, she starts bleeding again. That is worrisome. Such person, especially for those that are above the age of 35, such person should present to a gynecologist for further evaluation. Then when women have vaginal discharge, copious one, with blood stain, then they should also present. And of course, the woman that is losing weight, not having appetite, it's very important. And if that woman is within the reproductive age group or has attained the age of menopause, it's better for such women to actually present for further evaluation by a gynecologist.
Now, doctor, one of the things that you just said this morning is that discovering cancer in someone is not a death sentence.
Yes.
So the person has presented, they've now been diagnosed, so maybe it's still the early stages. What are the immediate things that would then have to be done to ensure that their own survival rate is high?
Yeah, of course. After making the diagnosis, the most important thing is, at least, if we detect it early, just like I've said, it's quite curable. And the first thing we do is to do surgery, which is where we usually comes in as a gynecology oncologist.
Surgery would be required for this particular...
Yes, if you detected early, but some advanced stage will not be amenable to surgery. But the good thing is that at least 75% of cases present very early, so it's actually good to do surgery for such. Then the other thing is we also do radiotherapy. Radiotherapy means, of course, we expose such women, their pelvic area, to some radiation, which can also help in achieving some kind of treatment. Then we also do chemotherapy for some advanced stages, which are not amenable to surgery or radiotherapy. Then for a very minor cases, we also do what we call the hormonal therapy. Hormonal therapy involves using some kind of drugs which mimic what hormones does in the body, and that can also, especially for those that are advanced, or for sometimes for just to reduce the progression of the disease, but that will not cure. But of course, it can slow down the progression of the disease.
Thank you so much, Doc, for joining us this morning and for shedding light on this. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there also who are just discovering this as well, and will be taking steps to safeguard their lives. Now, heading over to Mike now for entertainment news. Hey, guys.
No, you're not going to Mike. You're coming here.
Yeah, I feel like I should just take charge of the show today. But welcome again to the kitchen. A lot has been happening. As you can see, we are well on the way to preparing this fritters Chef Johnson is making for us this morning. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to show you how to put it in the pan. It's not so complicated, but it's a good idea for you to know exactly how to do it, okay? And then we'll now quickly show you how the ilo will be made. So that is ready, or just a little more?
A little more.
Okay. Now, flipping in the pan. So, when that is ready, can we put the next batch?
Okay.
I think there's space by the side there, so everyone can see how it works. Is that cooked?
Yeah, that's fine.
Fantastic. I love the color, the browning. Okay, so let's put it in. It's important to know this, so just observe this.
All right. What you're just going to do basically is to ensure that you apply some oil into the scoop in order for it not to stick.
Now, you were telling me earlier that it's also possible to make use of ice cream scoop.
Yeah, ice cream scoop.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
so
make use
it
of it.
even helps you dispense it better.
Exactly. And because of the shape as well.
Okay.
In the case whereby you want to get a smaller shape of something like this, you could get that particular size
you want, instead of it being this large. So it's even more fingery food-like.
Kind
Fantastic.
of, yeah.
Fantastic. Do I need to put oil for the ice cream scoop?
Yeah, you need to put oil.
Okay, so no matter the kind of scoop I'm using, I need to put oil.
Yeah,
that will make it easier to pour out.
Exactly, because the fact that there's flour here, it will definitely.
Let's just get on with that. So how do we put it?
So just gonna apply little oil. Okay, just very little oil.
Move it around.
And then you move it around. You make sure that
it should be fun when you have children.
So you're just gonna
put it in.
Yeah.
You have to feel it.
You have to feel it.
What if I have this size, but I decide not to feel it?
It's also possible.
So it's possible?
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay, so we're going to try that on our own later. So we'll make smaller bites of this.
No problem. Okay. It's also possible.
Okay. So you spread it out?
Yeah.
And then we pour it in the pan to fry.
Okay.
So because the chicken is tiny, it makes it easier to cook. Now, just watch this.
All right. So
because when I saw this, I was like, how are we supposed to flip this? And then just watch what it's going to do.
You're just going to press it down with your spatula. All right. Press it down gently.
Yeah.
Gently. Okay.
Yeah.
Trust me, for fritters, you don't really need to get this sort of regular shape of normal cake or something.
Okay.
It could be any shape for fritters.
But you know this is larger than a finger food. Is it possible to probably cut it into strips?
Yes, it's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Okay.
And that's why I advise that you should use the ice cream scoop because of the
size, so as to make it really tiny.
Exactly.
Okay. So while that works, let's quickly show the process of making the aloe, please.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Every fritters goes with dip.
Okay.
It goes with a dip. So you can actually, make do of any dip of your choice.
Okay.
Okay.
Ketchup.
Yeah, when I mean dip of your choice, it can't. If it's ketchup, something has to be mixed with the ketchup.
With the ketchup. So it can't be just ordinary ketchup.
It can't just be ordinary ketchup. Something has to be mixed with it. Okay, so this is what it's all about.
Okay.
All right.
So like mayonnaise now. It
mayonnaise.
Can't go on its own. Something.
No, mayonnaise can't go on its own.
Okay.
Mayonnaise.
Okay.
Okay.
First thing,
you have your mayonnaise.
Okay.
You have your lemon juice.
Now, for someone who isn't good with looking at things, how can you decide how much is enough for this particular dish?
You mean for the lemon juice, right? Yeah, basically you just need, for every items you're making use of, there's a particular measurement.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
So if you are using a ketchup of this amount, you should know that you need nothing less than
just a bit of it.
A bit of it, and that's equivalent to 1 teaspoon, not tablespoon, 1 teaspoon.
Okay.
Just
so
very
we'll
little.
note that we'll allow Chef Johnson continue because we really have to run. We have this break coming up. Stay with us as Wake Up Nigeria. All right, it's time for DIY on Wake Up Nigeria, and it's Adeoluwa Agbaja as our guest on this. He is the founder of Joe Maverick Shoes brand, that is, which has become one of the most sought-after bespoke shoemakers in Lagos. Now, for this morning, he is joining us to show how to make your leather shoes shine after applying polish? Many parents will be interested in this one. So let's get started. What do we need to do? What do we need to know?
All right. When you have your shoes, either leather or suede,
This is a very messy suede.
Yeah, that's the whole idea, you know, how to remove the stains from your suede. The first thing we have to do is
let's do the polishing first.
All right. You use a brush to remove dust and all forms of stains.
So that's the purpose of this brush?
Yes.
I thought the brush was after you polished.
You would use it after you polish, but you have to first dust off so that you have a plain and clean surface. Wow. All right. So you baptize the shoe.
Now, real baptism.
With
the polish.
Yeah, a good deal of polish.
Do you put polish on this side, considering the fact that it's suede?
No. You'll have to spray
that side.
That part of the shoe.
So spraying is different.
Yeah, spraying is different. Because it's a mix of leather and suede.
This looks like something of high quality.
Yeah, it does. It is.
You can tell the leather. It's quite good.
Thank you.
So regular polish, you just polish. That magic you want to do is what I want to see.
Okay, you see it. But the mistake many make is that they don't allow the polish dry.
You are supposed to wait for polish to dry.
Yeah, this polish.
That's my first time of hearing that one.
Yeah, this polish has to dry before you use your brush or shoe wipes. So you allow the polish settle in and dry.
So how long is it supposed to dry for?
Say 5 to 15 minutes.
5 to 15 minutes when you are polishing.
Yes.
When you go to meet these cobblers, like normal shoemakers, and then you say, Oga, please, can you polish? It's 2 minutes. Oh.
You know, they have their technique and they are trying to be fast because they have to make a lot of money. And
so if you are doing it yourself at home,
and
you want it to shine the way theirs shines, you wait for 15 minutes.
Yes, you have to.
Uncle, you know you won't wait for 15 minutes here.
No. Would do it
the
fast way.
Roadside way.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you do that.
All right.
Because in most cases, people forget to polish in time. It's usually when they are rushing.
Rushing.
So I think I'll prefer that idea. So if you leave it for 15 minutes, what difference does it give you?
Now, it makes the polish drying.
Okay.
And that way, you can take your brush. This was the first one.
Okay.
Then you use your brush.
But it's still not shiny.
It will shine.
With this brush?
Yes.
I want to see. Because we use this brush too. It does not shine.
Just watch. All right. So after using your brush on it.
Yeah. How is this thing getting glossy finish? I brush it the same way too.
No, you watch. You take wipes. And if you don't have wipes, you have to get an alternative, which is cotton wool.
Cotton wool.
Then you could wet the cotton wool to just make it a little bit moist.
Okay.
Then you apply some polish over the moist cotton wool or wipes. And you just swipe over your shoe.
Hey!
See? See? All right. You do a lot of that at the front.
So just wipes?
Just wipes.
That's all I should have done for how many years of my life?
That's all, wipes. Then you could do it towards the back heel too.
Okay, just for all-round shine?
Yes. So your shoe is going to be sparkling like new.
But you do this as well after waiting for 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So it's not because we're trying to fast track?
Yeah.
You will now spray polish again. What are you spraying?
The suede.
What kind of liquid is that?
That's, you could get a nubuck spray.
Okay.
Suede spray.
Just suede spray?
Yeah. Just, then you do this for as long as...
Until you get the required shine?
Until, you're satisfied with the shine.
I'm even okay with this shine because we don't get this shine every day.
All right.
It is well.
So you can compare this with this.
Hey, simple trick.
That's just a
Though
trick.
we manage the wipes, we use it like 4 times. You know, you tear it like this. Let me show you how I used to tear it to manage it well. Like this. So we just put small. Because people will say, I will be wasting one wipe. No. You know how much wipes cost? Market women have increased the price.
You want to be classic.
Yeah. Let's work on this one.
All right. Now, this is a messed up suede shoe.
Very messed up.
In case you get into mud or... So You first take your brush.
Oh, really now? Okay.
And do some cleaning, you know.
Always imagine you have to use wet rag or something.
You could use a damping cloth after, but too much of water in contact with fluid is not so good. Yes. So you just clean as much as you can.
So you clean all of this?
Yes, you have to.
So for those who, like us, we are managing everything, you use your cotton wool, as he said, with small water. This suede and the wipes thing, he has used 2 wipes. 50 naira per wipe.
No.
Okay.
Then you take your spray.
Okay.
And you have an angle.
Okay.
Then you just do your thing.
Now, wow. And that's it.
That's it.
We learn new things every day, don't we?
Yes,
we learn new things every day. And thank you so much for being on the show. This has been a fantastic learning process. With this is ready, right?
Yeah, it's ready.
Good. It looks good. Just take a look at the difference. Eh? The difference is clear.
Yeah, you can compare.
Thank you so much for this
Thank
beautiful lesson. Thank you so much. All right, we have to move on. It's time for entertainment news. Let's learn what our celebrities have been up to lately.
Welcome back to the third hour of the show. 2 hours have gone by, flown by, actually, already.
I can't believe we're on the third hour.
The third hour is here, believe it or not.
Wow, and you know,
so that's
of course,
the final stretch for this Tuesday.
This place is your one-stop shop for everything lifestyle.
What are you guys doing in the kitchen? Like, I'm just, everywhere is just full of...
You know what they say about self-control? It takes
Chef
a lot
Johnson.
to be in that
Chef
kitchen
Johnson.
sometimes. So.
This guy. Amazing guy. Okay, there he is. Okay, so what are you guys doing? What exactly are you guys doing?
Okay, so it's a melange of different things, but there's plenty of garlic. There's plenty of cheese. So it's cheesy chicken fritters.
Okay, yeah. So it's the cheese that I'm...
It's the cheese that you're perceiving, and oh my gosh, it looks amazing.
Look at that.
I haven't tasted it yet, so I can't tell you if it tastes amazing, but I'm pretty sure it will.
But there were 7 there now, there's only 5 left, and you have not tasted.
Uncle, calm down. I'm very sure something must have gone wrong, and I'm going to... Chef Johnson, what happened to the remaining 2?
There were 7. Now there's 5.
Are you sure there were 7? No, there were 5. 3 large ones. I can't believe I'm having this argument with him. Can we just move on?
Live right now. We're streaming live right now at tvcentertainment.tv.
That's right. And of course on Facebook at TVC Connect. So send in your comments using the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Now, app is also available for download on the Android and iOS stores, and it allows you to watch us from anywhere in the world.
Yeah. All right, so we move on straight to the highlights and less on food.
Yeah, still to come is a chat with a runway model and the current Miss Teen United Nations pageant, Favor Okeke.
What is it? I have a cat.
Not forgetting mom blogger and media consultant Jane Ogoye, who will be joining us on parenting to discuss how not to raise entitled kids.
Then we're going to be getting up close and personal with award-winning TV host and model Idia Ison.
Yes, so a lot going on. So earlier I said I was going to tell you what's happening today in history.
Yeah.
So let me just quickly run through all 3 of them. And then, yes, phone decides not to load up. But I know today is International Country Music Day. So if you're a fan of country music, today is the day to bring out some Taylor Swift, bring out some Billy Ray Cyrus.
Country music is...
There's this song that's been on the charts for like, what, 20 weeks now, 25 weeks, Old Town Road.
Yeah, by Lil Nas X.
Which is just a strange mix of country and hip-hop.
And hip-hop, right?
I've never seen anything like that.
I think that eclectic kind of mix is what makes music. That's why you appreciate it more.
when they come together, you feel the difference, or you feel how they can come together. It's all cool. And country music, by the way, I know those days, country music there's no gospel country music or secular. Country music is just lovely. They speak about, they just talk about things happening around them. I love country music.
Yeah, country music is great. But this Old Town Road, incidentally, my son heard it first.
Yeah, okay.
So
why are you saying incidentally? Are you the one who hears songs first?
My son is 8 years old.
Exactly.
I'm just saying that an 8-year-old hearing the song first, I was thinking, he was singing it like continuously. I was wondering, where did this guy hear country music from? And then, you know that there's the country music part, and then there's hip hop part. And it was just really strange until I now heard it myself. Anyway, so World Country Music Day. So
yeah,
you try to get
also
some Jim Reeves or something into
Jim Reeves, exactly.
Yeah.
Constitution Day.
Constitution Day.
Yeah. Apple Dumpling Day, Monte Cristo Sandwich Day, Locate an Old Friend Day.
Oh, okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, especially in this time of us talking about suicide and stuff. So you should probably look out to reach out to someone.
So search for your old friend on Facebook or something. Well, it's becoming increasingly easier for millennials to raise entitled kids. So our parenting topic for today is focusing on how to draw the line between being a sensitive parent and raising entitled kids. It's the 21st century where we're not really sure anymore. They say don't beat kids. It's just crazy. Anyway, today to discuss this with us is Jane Ogoye, who is a media consultant by day and a mom blogger by night. She is also the founder of Fab Momming, which is an all-inclusive online community support for moms. And she's joining us this morning to talk about this topic.
Yeah.
Entitled kids.
Yeah.
When does a child become entitled? When they ask for too much, or when exactly do you say this child is entitled?
Okay, so a child becomes entitled when he or she gets his or her way all the time. I ask mommy for biscuit, mommy gives me. I can throw tantrums at any time because I know mommy will always give in. So when we overindulge our children, they automatically become entitled.
So it's really overindulgence. But
Yes.
there's always
there's a thin line, actually.
There's a thin line. Sometimes people say daughters have the mumu button
Of their daddies.
And the same also for sons and mothers. So children know how to manipulate early on in the day. So when do you draw the line? When do you then say, okay, this child is becoming manipulative and is on his way to becoming entitled?
You will see the signs. When a child feels that he or she has the right, everyone is getting a new pencil, I need to get a new pencil, I must have what I want. Mommy wants to watch news, I want to watch cartoon. Sometimes out of love, I don't want to use the word spoil, but we tend to pamper our children. But as an adult, you know when it's getting like this, crossing the line. So that's when you sort of begin to make a few adjustments and give a few restrictions. But I usually like to say that don't wait till it gets there. As much as possible, let the child understand that life isn't going to be always fair. The child can get to know that as he or she grows up. A child should understand the value of hard work, virtues like patience, contentment, because these are things that the absence of these things actually lead to entitlement, from children.
A lot of parents, even some that I've spoken to or that I've engaged with over the years have said, sometimes you want to give your child the things that you didn't have. So people grew up maybe in poverty or maybe not even in poverty, but there was just a lot of things that they didn't have as children. So they now have access to a bit of wealth. And so they want their children to experience everything. So your child asks for ice cream. I didn't have ice cream when I was growing up. Have all the ice cream that you want. So what are you then saying to such parents who want to give their children
the
everything?
best? Oh yes, by all means, give your child the best. But once in a while, you could draw your child closer to you and just have that talk. Like depending on the child's age, things won't always be like this. There are some people. Like for me, what works for me is that once a year, towards the end of the year, I take my children to orphanage homes. Motherless children. That's where we take their clothes, their books, their toys, just so that they have an idea of what life is on the other side. Another way you can also instill that is by engaging children in age-appropriate chores from a tender age. So from 3 years, something as simple as you take off your socks, you keep it at the right place, you come back from school. Yes, I have a nanny, yes, I have a house help, but you can't finish eating and leave your plate on the table. You know, as the child grows up, when he or she is of school age. So when you finish eating, something as simple as taking your plate to the kitchen sink, even if you don't wash it, even if you pull off your clothes, don't just dump it on the floor. When you wake up from your bed, as the child grows, just stretch your bed, even if it's not perfect. Then once in a while, depending on the age as well, during the weekends, okay, come and sit down. This is how we wash socks. It doesn't have to be clean. But, you know, children also love that form of responsibility. So it keeps them, you know, going. So these are ways.
Okay, so now these are ways for children that they haven't arrived at that entitlement level yet. You see, because I know it's more difficult when you're now trying to pull back.
Yes, it is.
So when a child has already become entitled, you know, I know there's some people who say, I'm sending you to grandma's so that grandma can train you and things like that. I even know of 2 families that send their children from the UK
down
to Nigeria
for
training or to a boarding school in Nigeria. So what are the steps that parents can take
after it happens?
After the child has already become spoiled or entitled.
Okay, then you begin to cut out a lot of restrictions. It can be hard, and you have to expect a lot of resistance as well, because the child is used to the good life, everything being at his or her beck and call. So you have to do a lot of restrictions. Help the child understand that money is earned, is not plucked from trees. People work hard. So you could begin to give an allowance, because I believe at that age, perhaps he's already a teenager or a preteen. So you can begin to introduce things like that. So you can have timeouts for TV. You know, a lot of children, the screen time is also an issue. So you could begin to cut out all those things. But you know, it's not going to be easy. So that's why we always preach, avoid it first. Because even you, the parent, will have a lot of headache on your...
Very true, very true. Thank you so much. Just 30 seconds. There's if a mom comes to you right, and she says, because children, again, they have their way with emotions and things like that. So a child is throwing a tantrum in public. You want to give that child what they want immediately. What would you respond to that?
So just allow the child. Don't give in immediately. A lot of people are going to look at you and feel that, this woman has spoiled this child. So just blank out, allow the child. So once the child is done, you can just go down to the child's level. Stand up, you know, let us go. But I know that the tendency for us to want to is there.
Immediately you quieten the child.
So you can avoid tantrums by actually talking to the child before you leave the house. Sometimes you can know what triggers it, so you can curtail it before it happens.
Wow, thank you so much, Jane, for joining us this morning and for taking us through. I'm sure there are a lot of moms watching right now, and they're saying, okay, let me begin to take some steps, baby steps. Let's start from there. Anyway, Mike has a guest with him right now. Let's head over to Mike. Hey, Mike.
Yep, Yomi. And you spoke about my guest. She loves pictures, by the way. While she was getting ready for her interview, she was just sitting pretty and taking wonderful shots there. But she's Favor Okeke, a runway fashion model and the reigning Miss Teen United Nations NG. Now, with this platform, she is starting an initiative that empowers young females to become advocates of peace and selflessness. Now, that's quite very cool. How are you doing?
I am doing very fine.
You're welcome. Great to have you. Miss Teen United Nations Nigeria. The title looks like a very, very big one. Let's talk about how you got to wear the crown. What was the process like for you?
The process was, let's say, kind of hectic, but it was fun for me. When I heard about the pageant, my sister told me about the pageant. I was like, I'm not sure I can go for it. I'm not sure I'm up for it. It's my first pageant.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Well, I got to the camp at Delta State. It's held at Ujimeje Kingdom, Prince Nedwoko's Palace.
Okay.
Then we went through the camp process, the
pre-judge. Did you have to travel for it, or you stay in Delta State?
No, I stay in Lagos.
Okay, so you have to travel from Lagos
to Delta? I had to travel to Delta State.
That's commitment. That's nice. Okay, so, yeah, go on.
So I had to go through the pre-judging process. Me staying with the other contestants was kind of hard.
You saw some fine girls there. Like, did you ever think you could win it from that beginning, at that point?
Well, I had a kind of self-confidence, but I didn't want to be too, because I saw other girls that were kind of intimidating for me. But I was like, okay, I think I should be part of the top 3.
Okay, so you always felt like, okay, I'm top there, I can do it, and all of that. So how long did it take? How were you now crowned winner and all of that?
Well, after the prejudging, the next day was the pageant, so we had to came out like 3 to 4 times.
Okay.
even during that day, during the beat, we thought that it won't hold, but it held. So.
And all of that. And now you are the winner and all of that. What does this mean to you as a person? Winning this pageant, what does it mean to you?
It means everything to me.
Now, I know you're studying history and international relations.
Yes.
How does this help with your career, what you want to do after school?
Well, because I'm studying history and international relations, I love history on its own, but I'm more focused on international relations because I want to be an ambassador. Yes.
Okay. And this is something that you feel that can definitely give you that kind of platform. So what does this mean now? You being the queen now, what are the pecs? Is there any project you're involved in after all of this? Can you tell us about that?
First, I'm planning on running an initiative that empowers young female minds to be selfless, to be advocates of themselves, to have a diplomatic belief of themselves and how they're surrounded, like it should be independent. I also have a pet project on climate change and quality education.
Cool. Now, just by the side, won't this distract you from school?
No.
Okay, so how do you combine it? Because now there's some kind of attention on you, you know? Everybody goes, oh, beauty queen, I don't know that. How do you manage to balance it with school? You're still in 100 level, so how do you manage to balance it?
Recently, yes, school has started. There have been lectures, but not really much.
Okay.
And I'll be traveling to India November.
That's so now you're going to travel and there'll probably be school. How would you manage it? Are you going to take a break from school? What if it coincides with exam? And then you have to
wouldn't.
You said you wouldn't.
No.
Why
my exam is going to hold December 1st. December? Yes.
So something happens. Your lecturer has just decided, this semester, let's make it faster. Let's make it faster.
Even if I have tests during that period, it's a university. I can always talk to my part advisor.
Okay, cool.
Or my VC.
So it's not something you think you should take a break from school for, maybe for the year that you're going to read and all of that. It won't affect your schooling. Okay, so you said you're going to India. Tell us about that.
As you see, I won the pageant.
Okay. Yeah, you won. You did.
I'll be going to India to represent Nigeria, and I hope to bring back the crown. Wow. So I'll need all of your support.
So in India, you're going to be up against how many ladies? How many?
I think up to 30.
Wow. I mean, is there going to be an Indian contestant for that?
I think so.
Don't worry, you win. I trust you now. You come back. You do us proud, right?
I hope so. I really hope so.
Thankfully, I wish you the best and
Thank
go out
you.
there and become a good representative. You're on the way to being an ambassador. When you become an ambassador, don't forget me. All right, thank you very much for coming. It was great having you on the show. Thank you. All right. Yeah, that was Miss Teen United Nations Nigeria, and it was great chatting with her. We'll take a break now. Don't go nowhere. We will be right back with another kind of a beauty queen also. All right? We'll have this one when we get back.
We're on the last stretch on Wake Up Nigeria.
Final
that
stretch.
moment,
Yeah.
yes, when we bring you our special guest for the day. Now, our guest for this morning is award-winning TV host and model, Idia Aisian. Now, she is a graduate of American University with a BA in journalism and a minor in business administration.
Yeah, she also earned a master's degree in public relations and global corporate communication. She can teach us a thing or two about PR, and she's from the New York University. Now, she's also done a commercial for several airlines and makeup brands as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's true, as well as an automobile brand. And,
she's just,
she's modeled for US-based designers. You just wonder, what haven't you done in the industry?
She's also been a judge in a recent...
Oh, no, she said
she doesn't want to talk about that.
So I have to follow. No, because...
I didn't say what it was.
No, but you already started. So we cannot leave our viewers wondering, what are they talking about?
What she was a judge of.
So because your me started it, I will have to support your me. I'm very sorry, darling.
Mary?
But she was on that panel.
Yeah.
Note the use of that.
On that
because
panel.
people are still vexing. She was on that panel of judges who made the decision that Venita.
Oh boy.
What was her partner again? Yeah, well, if you watch Big Brother, she was on that panel that judged the hair competition. You remember that one? The one that caused an uproar on social media. Yeah, so you can go after her yourself.
No.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Idia. Thank you for joining us.
So you know I was joking, right?
No, of course.
Of course.
Okay.
We're great to have you here all the same.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Fantastic. Now, you're a fantastic TV host. You've also done a lot of modeling and stuff. How do you juggle everything?
Well, to be honest, I think I'm used to it because from a young age, I've always made sure I did more than one thing at the same time. Okay. I shoot my shots in different directions just so that I'm getting more done. And it has always worked for me.
So that's it.
Yeah, so one of the things that is not on your profile that we just read is that you're also into business. And as a business person, you would have to, there's a lot of things that you're going to have to learn.
Absolutely.
How did you go through this process of learning how to be a business person?
Besides minoring in business administration.
Well, to be honest, like I grew up in a very business-oriented family. My dad was very into the drinks market, and he used to import drinks to Nigeria, and he owned several other businesses. So I always saw somebody that was very resourceful and hardworking, and I said, gosh, I have to be like this man. So for the longest time, I always tried to work with the family business, even though I've always had stuff that I was doing by myself as well. And I was always interested in selling drinks, you know, just making sure that my profile was well-rounded so that I could do anything that I wanted to do.
Okay, so it's more of an influence from dad.
Exactly.
So you still take part in the family business despite having all these other activities?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now more than ever.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I wanted to also say that apart from, of course, being a TV host and other things, you're also a producer. You've handled a number of production projects,
scenes,
some that are ongoing right now. Tell us about that.
Okay, so the first thing that I basically was the executive producer of was a campaign that we did for the LIRS.
Okay.
And, you know, I wanted to sensitize people on the importance of paying tax in Nigeria. So we went out, we did this video. They were really impressed with it. And then now I'm working on a documentary series that basically showcases Africa from a more positive perspective. You know, I saw you guys today when you were doing the newspaper reviews. As you see, a lot of things are always centered on negative happenings.
Yes.
And I wanted to create a platform that is just focused on strictly positive news, because of course they're going to be, you have to flow with whatever it is that's trending, but at the same time I want to show the solutions that are being provided to those issues.
Okay, and that's actually a way to go, as a matter of fact, but let's not go political.
Okay.
Let's talk about you.
Okay.
So a lady that's gorgeous, very attractive.
Thank you.
What's it like when it comes to, you know, handling male admirers?
Well, for me, I try to just be extremely nice to everybody. And I try to keep my interactions with people, especially like personal, like going on, I try to keep it to a minimum because, you know what, in Nigeria, you can't...
keep it professional.
Exactly. You can't just go out with everybody that asks you out. It's very hard, to be honest, here, because a lot of people get aggressive quickly. It's like, you're not even that fine, Joe. I get messages like that, and I'm like, I didn't even do anything to this person. So people will turn on you very quickly. And I think also when you keep a guy in the friend zone long enough, you can actually see his true character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what you've been doing.
Yeah.
So all the guys in friend zone, they are still observing your character. What projects are you working on at the moment?
Oh, well, like I mentioned, the one on this positive news platform,
Besides that one.
It's called the International Development Initiative in Africa. So it's actually an organization, but then just one part of it is going to be a docu-series. And that's what I'm working on currently.
So what about
the
future?
The future of this project, well, it's launching...
Besides the project.
Oh, besides the project.
I'm sure you already have some other plans. The way I'm seeing
this
you,
year,
I can see the wheels.
This year has actually been, well, my worst and my best. Unfortunately, I lost my dad earlier this year, and I thought it was going to just fall to fire. But a lot of the work that I put in since I moved back to Nigeria has actually started paying off a lot this year. I got 2 endorsements this year, one with Lancome, a beauty brand. So we're working closely with them just to, you know, keep showing you guys amazing products that the brand has. And then now with Be Natural Med Spa, which is, you know, amazing. And yeah, you know, just working with a few brands here and there. And I think it's been my best year yet.
Wow. So with dad passing, of course, I mean, that would have been challenging, which is why you said earlier that now more than ever, you're involved in the family business and all of that.
We're taking on responsibilities that we didn't even know this man was carrying on his head. So just a lot of stuff going on.
Now, with all these things, everyone probably has that idea that you have a glossy lifestyle. Everything has always worked out the way you want it.
Never.
But
I think that's what people don't understand. Like, the glossier your life looks, the harder it is. It's very, very hard to make things look like
shiny.
Exactly. It's very hard to make things look all squeaky and shiny. And even just with simple things like trying to get a personal assistant, the person comes thinking, oh my God, we're going to travel and do our hair. And then they start doing research and they're like, the work is too much. And they leave. And you're confused because you're like, I thought you knew this is what it takes to be, you know, a TV girl, I guess. So
it gets pretty tough. But what do you then do if, I mean, like Mary said, it can be really tough holding your life together and juggling all so many different balls. What do you then do to ensure that you stay in the zone and you stay focused on all your goals?
Honestly, this year, I've actually found the perfect balance because one thing that I do is I stick now closer to my support system, which is my family. Like, my siblings are really supportive. So they'll go on social media and be like, this is so nice, this is so awesome. And of course, they give me advice with everything I do. So anything I want to launch, anything I'm working on, any picture I want to post, I can ask my sisters or brothers. So there's the support system part of it. The second part of it is just not comparing yourself to people because in the media industry, it's so easy to say, oh, Mrs. B is doing this or Lara is posting that. And you get sucked into feeling like you have to post 10 pictures a day. So I do things according to how I feel and what I want. If I don't want to do anything for 5 days online, I'm not going to do it. If I want to launch in December or in 2 years, my project.
Well, you might be used to making decisions, but I'm making a decision for you right now. And the decision is you must have breakfast.
Everyone join us in the kitchen.
Okay. What do you have?
And looks like Mike is on standby with us here.
Yep. Here, please sit down here.
Here?
Please have a seat. Chef Johnson.
Chef Johnson, what did you make for us this morning?
Well, this cheesy chicken fritters.
Nice.
Cheesy chicken fritters.
Yeah.
With lemon aioli.
This is the aioli, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have some cutlery?
Yes, I'm just going to grab
delicious. Do I have to share?
Well, you don't have to.
Okay, great.
I think, so Chef Johnson, tell us how you made this, how you put this together.
Here.
Okay, this is, it's no more of a hard work. It's basically a combination of a lot of things, spices and meats. So basically you have chicken there, you have cheese, mozzarella cheese precisely, and you also have the likes of other spices. Yeah, like garlic, black pepper, and the rest.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Yes, please go ahead and try it. What do you think?
So let us know what you think.
She's going for the next bite, okay.
Very nice.
It tastes better with the ayola.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Fantastic.
Good job.
Well done, Chef Johnson. Well done.
Thank you.
So you are off to India when?
November.
Okay, that's when they're doing the Miss Teen. What did you call it? Miss Teen United Nations.
I can almost see you dancing in a traditional Indian outfit. Like. All right, well, we have to waltz our way out.
Rounding off now. Big thank you to Homely NG for the kitchen accessories on Wake Up Nigeria.
Thank you so much. And to you, you really should get up bright and early to be a part of our celebration. All right, so I can't wait for tomorrow to come already.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
To all our friends who joined us on the show today and that are rounding off, of course, with us.
Thank you for having me.
Glad that you loved the breakfast.
Absolutely. I'm gonna eat when the camera's
We're
off.
back tomorrow, Wednesday, 6 a.m. Don't forget, join us same time then.